What's up, y'all? So today, this is just going to be a very basic talking video. I'm going to be talking about the 5 ways, or whatever you call it, 5 techniques that I use to get good grades, whether that is in high school, college. My mom really instilled in me early about not missing assignments, so these are some of the techniques. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I try to do is when the initial assignment is assigned, when the assignment is assigned, I usually try to get it done as early as possible. If I'm not bombarded with multiple other assignments from all my other classes, I will try to always get it done as close to the initial date that it was assigned, due to the fact that it doesn't you don't get into that like procrastinating behavior of waiting until the very last minute. At the very end you're like, oh, I have to do this, it's gonna be due the next night or something like that. So it really gets you in a good habit of being proactive, not reactive. I've always been doing this since I graduated from elementary school, to be honest. Starting from like middle school up until high school, college, etc. Now that I'm in college, I've always tried to get assignments done as closest to possible from when they were initially assigned. So the one thing to take away from this tip is to be proactive, not reactive. Number 2, we have write important due dates down for tests and quizzes that you might have to study for. So, I'm not the best, person at math or whatever, shout out to my old tutors, Rina and Chigozie. I really, they actually helped instill that, you really need to stay on top of your stuff and write these important due dates down so you can really study for them beforehand until the night before, because if you study the night before, chances are you're probably not going to do well the day on test day, unless, some people are really smart, they can get away with that. That's not me. So yeah, that's number 2 for a fact. Writing down any important dates, tests, or quizzes that I need to do really shows me the schedule of what I need to get done based on just regular assignments and then where the quizzes land. So it helps me kind of like schedule out what I really need to do and the dates that I need to hit, and when I can start preparing for these tests and quizzes, because those are the things that are really big on the grade book. Another thing, continuously check your portals, whether, portals meaning like Canvas, if you're in college, if you're in high school and you're watching this video, always go in, talk to your teachers at lunch. Some teachers would get annoyed at me that I would go in at lunch and talk to them about due dates and stuff, but who cares, to be honest, because you're trying to learn, and sometimes when you get things initially assigned, you might be a little unsure of what to do. So make sure you talk to your teachers, stay on top of things, but always continuously check whatever you're using that shows your classes digitally, because that's usually where people email you, etc. So always stay up to date on that. So that is my number 3. My number 4 is always ask questions in class. Teachers always say, ask questions in class, and some teachers that actually say that get annoyed kind of fast, if you start asking questions very frequently. But, I stick to that, always asking questions, because, if you start to not understand an assignment and you start to fall behind, things start to compound on each other, then, it just gets all bad on test day. You don't really know what you're studying for. One example actually from this is geometry class in high school. Back when they were doing geometry as a class, my high school right now, not right now because I'm in college, but they switched over to Common Core when I was in high school. And basically I waited kind of until the last minute to really start talking to my teacher and asking him questions, and it came back and it bit me. But geometry is something that I thought I kind of knew, but on test day it kind of went all sideways. So it went all right. But always ask questions, even if sometimes the teacher is getting annoyed, because this is your education. Things start to compile on each other, and you really need to fully understand the material. You don't want any holes or anything that you're not really too sure on, because once you're too unsure on something, then it starts to compile. Number 5, we have take advantage of any tutoring options, but also you want to make friends in the classroom. I cannot tell you how important this is, really, because any sort of tutoring options, going at lunch is one thing. Going at lunch, ask questions like I already said previously, but also come in with like specific things that you need to work on, specific questions. And there might be tutoring, like with a big group of people, but come in with questions and things that you need to talk about, because if you just go in there and you sit in there and you're not really you're just listening, goes goes into one ear and out the other, you're not really there, you're kind of there, that's not really going to help you. So I was in this stats class. Basically, this class was a little difficult. It wasn't too difficult, but in this class, things compile on each other, like I was saying earlier with geometry. And it seems like it's always math classes where you can't really wing it too well when it comes to the very end. So, knowing what I knew before in geometry, I went into my teacher's class at lunch almost all the time to make sure, even on things that I knew, I was still asking questions on those things to make sure I fully understood them. Because, arrive on test day or quiz day and you're not able to thoroughly work through your problems written, or because, it's not multiple choice. You have to always show your work, and, if you can't show your work, you're going to get a 0 on it, or you're going to get half credit. So, half credit throughout the whole test, you're probably going to get a D or an F. So you want to make sure that you're covering all steps of a certain problem, or, whatever class you're in, you want to make sure that you're covering everything, because if you're not, then chances are you're going to miss out on those points, and it's going to be something that it's going to be hard to really understand come later at the end of the year. I'm not saying you can't understand it. I'm saying it's going to be a little bit harder. So, always stay proactive, not reactive. And my last one that I'm going to be talking about, which I can kind of just add in here, is rewrite your notes. This is something I learned from one of my tutors, Chigozie, shout out to you. He always taught me that you want to always rewrite your notes, okay? And I always, to this day, I will go in with pen and paper, and I will most likely do my notes on pen and paper still, even though it's, a digital generation. Reason being is because I feel like when you put pen to paper, it kind of not ingrains in your head. It's sort of the act of writing and looking at your paper, you kind of look at what you're writing as opposed to typing, because typing is a very fast action. And I don't know, writing is something we've been doing since I don't even know how long. And when you start rewriting your notes over and over and over again, that's what I did in statistics to really understand it. It actually helped me, you know? So, I rewrote my notes in statistics. In math class was really the only like glaring thing for me that I was having a really hard time on. So, not a really hard time on, but it was a little more challenging. So, I had to rewrite my notes, put in the extra work, and I did get the grade that I wanted. I got an A. So, all these things I'm saying are these are basically good things to do to get good grades. These things will put you in a good spot to get the good grade, as opposed to not doing any of these things. It'll put you probably in a bad spot to get a bad grade. I know a lot of people that are really smart that don't really need to like put in, that much, like concrete effort. But, they put in some, but, they can wing it. I can't really wing it. So, these are some of the tips that I really have brought with me through my high school and college. And I'm still in college right now. You're hearing it here first. Probably not here first, but you're hearing it from me. And yeah, just hopefully y'all have a good year. I know we're underway still. What is it? Mid-spring semester almost, if you're semester. But yeah, almost a spring break, home stretch almost. Hopefully everything is going well. Stay positive, be kind to others. You never know what you might say that could affect someone else's day. So, be nice. And thank you so much. Thank you for watching. And stay tuned for more videos. Peace.